You know how I do.
Amounts of right click. However, Song of the Siren disjointed the fight and came back in favor of Fnatic.
And we're back for Game 2 of Team Tinker taking on VP.Polar. And Polar off to a 1-0 lead here in this series. And, you know, they're sitting right at 500. They're sitting in 2-2. That's 4 series they've played of the 7 that they play throughout their entire Western schedule. It's the same with every team. And they have a chance to get up over 500 whenever this is the team that I think most, especially following the departure of Goldblack, would have expected to struggle heavily. And I think it's been a really impressive stretch for them so far. Whereas Tinker, well, they're one more loss away from falling into an 0-2 hole to start things out. And to be totally blunt, not only will they potentially have 2 losses on their record, but it'll be 2 losses against 2 teams against which they were heavily favored, namely Navi US and Polar if they do end up losing. So this is a very important match on both sides for 2 very different reasons.
And this one seems to be a little bit more even in terms of how they're matched together. Yesterday, I don't know if you guys caught it and you need to check the VODs, or if you have a ticket, go back and look through the client, but they just got smashed by Navi US. Like, it wasn't even close in 2 games. So I guess I give kind of a spoiler, but you should still watch it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Navi looked really good. So did Ush, by the way, and that's a player I'm looking forward to watching develop. I've been talking to our good buddy Charlie quite a bit about Ush and the potential he as a full-time manager thinks he has. So, you know, just observing him from a distance, a kid that he's had his eye on, and yeah, I think right now Navi US is a team that if you were playing an investment game, they would be a good team into which to invest.
They're getting kind of owned right now, actually, though. I was popping.
Are they?
Yeah, they're playing Sna right now, and they're getting destroyed.
Yeah,
but
Sna.
Things happen.
Reserve time.
Indeed. Polar, by the way. How about we talk about this draft instead of talking about other matches that are going on right now? It's going to be a Skywrath for Tinker to go with their Legion Commander, Io, Slark, and I really dig the draft that we're seeing out of Tinker right now. They have aggression in a lot of different ways. I really like Io plus Legion Commander. We didn't even see VP attempt to ban the Tiny, just something they're not particularly that scared of, but on the side of Polar, they do get their Ogre Magi. They grab a Puck up very early in their draft, actually. And they're going to have a Centaur for Mag, and he is a beast on that hero. And then, of course, Lich is there just to muck up the lanes a little bit.
They got a lot of signature heroes for their team, at least in the sense of ones that they really like to play. Like DK Phobos loves to play Puck. Okay, well, they got Morphling. I know it's good. Yeah. It pairs well with Lich. I don't know. We were talking last night. Just certain heroes you have a lot of fun watching. I just think Morphling's so boring. I don't know why. Yeah. I just do. I think he's so boring. Anyway, they pick him up. Morphling Lich here, probably in mid. My guess is Ogre Puck bottom. They did this last. Well, they could go Ogre Centaur, but Ogre. I don't know. Depends on what they want to do. Like, it depends on actually what the offlaner is going to be from Team Arena or Tinkerino, because
5 seconds remaining.
By the way, I know you love it when that is said.
Nice May.
But like, if it's a really hard offlaner to zone out, you might want Puck Ogre. Otherwise, if you think you can get away with a double melee and farming up the Centaur and having Puck in the offlane, they'll do that. It just kind of depends. It's a Magnus. Okay, Magnus is wait, it's being played by Sing Sing.
Yep.
So are they going to do like an offlane dual lane? Because they're up against a Lich, you can do that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like a Skywrath Slark bottom, like a Wisp Legion Commander top. They could switch it around, but I wouldn't be surprised if Team Tinker do some kind of offlane dual lane.
Yeah, there is going to be a lot of flex on both sides. I actually like the way Polar's lanes are going to work out, at least if they're what I think they're going to be, which is obviously going to be a 2-2-1, most likely Morphling and Lich in mid. Then you have two very tanky heroes that help each other out quite a bit and actually have a surprising amount of kill potential together just by themselves on any single target. And the Ogre Magi and the Centaur, if you run them in the off lane and then send Puck into the solo safe, that's going to guarantee Puck a good start. It's going to guarantee that those two tanky heroes are most likely going to be able to play at least an XP range and probably get a fair amount of farm as well. And it's a very forgiving duo lane as well. Then it just comes down to how well Illidan can perform out of mid, if that is indeed what they end up doing with their Lich and the Morphling. And I think that's very stable for them, especially when you're talking about an IO that's around early on. I mean, the IO could end up going in a duo mid as well. And, I mean, it's hard to call. With Sing Sing on the mag, you know, the possibility of them just sending the mag mid against the dual lane of IO and Morphling is definitely there. But then they would be giving them a little bit too much room. Or not the IO and the Morphling, excuse me, the Lich and the Morphling. Then they're going to end up giving them a whole lot of room to just farm away. So, you know, in terms of how they do that, do you think they run a dual mid, or do they decide to try to pressure in another way somewhere else?
For Team Tinker, dual mid?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's dual mid against the Lich, which presumably going to be a Lich Morphling, is pretty hard. And I guess you could do it with the Skywrath, but that's just not typically what we see, especially when there's a Wisp on the board. Because Wisp with a fast bottle can just really make whoever else is mid just kind of invulnerable and spam out forever. So I'm not quite sure what they're going to do. I really don't know. It is actually going to be DK Phobos on the Centaur, and he's going to be farming up the bottom lane. So it looks like an aggressive dual lane, I guess, Mag and Lil being played by, playing the Ogre Magi. And then probably, the Lich has to be expected in mid.
30 seconds to battle.
Yeah, this is kind of what the lane setup I was talking about, is that they switched the Puck out for the Centaur. And I don't know, I mean, I don't hate it. I mean, both heroes do really, really well with solo lane, solo experience, and so on. In mid, it looks like it is going to be a mid-mag Sing Sing. So, Koikva's heading out into the offlane right now, and EGM is keeping an eye on the bottom rune spot. We'll see where he eventually bounces to. But I could see him easily hooking up with Koikva. And I think that's not going to necessarily be tough, but it's not going to be as good for DK Phobos as it would have been if they had put Mag down there on the solo safe Puck. It's an illusion at top, bounty at bottom taken by the IO.
I think even if they did dual lane bottom, and if they're going to, the bounty rune is actually so good for Wisps. Did he get it, or who got it? Yeah, because usually they rush a bottle, and so you can get it just a little bit faster. But yeah, so it is going to be a dual lane off lane for Team Tinker, and I agree. I think Puck would be a little bit better, but I don't think Centaur's that bad in this lane. Like, I don't think they can really kill him. Koikva doesn't really have that much killing potential. He has a lot of harassing, but not too much killing potential really until he hits level 6. So,
well, this off lane now going to be a big point of contention. Is going to be a range versus a melee, which is nice. I mean, so long as Lil is careful. Like, Lil's kind of the liability here. Tracking down Mag after he gets to level 2, level 3 is going to be a very tough, a very tall order. But in mid, this is where I'm really curious as well. The Mag should do fine. I mean, I don't think they're going to really have a chance to kill him anytime soon. Rune control going to be very important. He does have his bottle. It'll be coming back out to him as soon as the courier gets back to base. But Illidan, in theory, should be able to free farm here relatively easily. He should be able to walk away with a lot of levels and a lot of early CS. We can see Phobos is being harassed at bottom, as you mentioned, but really just no kill potential. In fact, EGM and 2 auto attacks takes more than they were able to do to Phobos just by itself.
Yeah, and he's farming quite nicely. Like, not too bad, 3-0. Yeah, I agree. Wisp is not very tanky early on. Like, yeah, you have good regen with the bottle, but 0 armor, less than 500 HP because you just simply don't have any stats starting out with the bottle. So, he's taking some pressure from Koikva. Koikva doing some good harass, but I think they'll be fine in this lane. Top lane Mag, he's 7-3 compared to Slark, who's only... Where is he? So down. He's so low, I couldn't even find him. 2-0.
0-2, yep. And I'm digging it. I'm digging it. the Centaur's actually doing a little bit better than I thought he would. I thought they would be able to just over time harass him, but the point you make is brilliant. EGM won't be able to fill his bottle. And I think they could, you know, did he put a point in a return? I think he did. Yeah, he went 1-1-1. I think EGM could have been right-clicking him more. And yes, I know that does return damage, but he should have fairly free reign over this bounty, or out of this bottom rune spot. Pycat's actually taking a lot of damage here. I don't know why Lil didn't ignite him. He actually had it. I guess he didn't want to catch anything else, but yeah, Pycat will be able to salve himself back up.
Yeah, I think they wanted to make sure that if you go on him and use your spells and expend all that mana, you need to make sure that you kill him, because if you don't, it's just a waste of your mana if he has a health potion. So being a little bit more reserved, I think that's the right call. And mid, where's the Lich? He's actually walked toward bottom. They ping him out. They know he's here. He's going to get one pull, can probably connect this, which will be really good for him because he'll hit level 3.5. Has his sacrifice actually right now if he wants to use it, and he does, so he hits 3. And that leaves just Morphling with the little added boost he had with the Lich help, who's 18 and 7 compared to an 8 and 0 Magnus.
Not going to be any connection, as there was a ward down, and this will be blocked from this point forward as well, so not going to be able to get any more pulls on, but Koikva spawning it, coming over using the overwhelming odds to take a CS and grab those creeps on back. Phobos, though, as you mentioned, getting a fair amount of farm. Early blink on him is going to be very, very important. And, you know, we were talking about this previously, and you think this could be a fun game? We were watching Maybe the other night using his Manta split to dodge the stomp from the Centaur. Given there's a Magnus on the other side, you think maybe we see a Manta on Illidan and he tries to get swag-tastic with it, tries to dodge the reverse polarities with it?
Oh, I mean, maybe. That's pretty hard to do on reverse polarity. But,
a little bit.
But yeah, I mean, he can use it to try to like do it right before Illidan, or sorry, Koikva comes in with a duel and it just joins his timing a little bit. Yeah, sure. I think Morphling also the last pick against Slark is pretty good because you can just, you're not really worried about Slark doing any damage to you with the pounce and keeping in place because you have Replicate and you have your waveform, which will break the pounce. So, and unless he gets an Orchids on Slark, which is just only in pubs. Oh, the FNG gets caught out. Could be dead
first
here.
Blood. And here comes the mag to help out. It's EGM that draws the first blood. And Illidan didn't even want to get involved. That's just really, really smart. They knew the Lich had been down here. They knew that it wasn't going to be long before he was traversing here again, going either to or from. And they smoked here, and then they just sat. They didn't see him. They just sat there and knew he would be coming back from one direction or another. So, well played. Good job, Team Tinker.
Yeah, I'm surprised Sing Sing just didn't do anything. Like, he could have just KS'd that. He definitely wants the gold. And he didn't even attack him or a shockwave, but just... Alright, well at least he got proximity experience, which is nice. Bottle coming out for him with the magic stick. So that's good. Not the farm that the Morphling has, but Morphling needs more time to come online than the Magnus with the blink, so it's to be expected. Mag up top, 31 CS for him. He's gonna have a fast blink if he wants it, of course. Not sure if he wants to upgrade his boots first. I always like the upgraded boots personally, but it varies from game to game.
Mm-hmm. I think that's really the biggest deal right now in the laning phase, is the disparity between Mag and Pycat. Pycat has every bit of 8 CS. He's only doubling up the Io's farm at this point. He's getting towards level 5, so it's not as if he can't have an impact, but with him being slowed down so much, the Morphling being right near the top, Koikva is doing what Koikva does, which is farm nearly perfectly all the time, so he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. But the fact that the Slark is going to need a little bit more time to really be on par item-wise, if Illidan can stay alive, can be a part of kills, but can also keep his farm rate up, I think that's going to be where Polar takes the lead, if they are able to take the lead. But of course, that can change in a flash if Sing Sing lands a good RP.
I think the duel is going to be a huge factor in this game too. Like dueling Morphling's obviously really good. Dueling both either the Puck, who's very elusive, just to keep him down there in place, and the Lich are good just because they're guaranteed like winning duels. You're gonna get guaranteed damage from those heroes all the time. So he's actually level 6 now, just dings it. About 1,000 gold away from his blink, so pretty damn good timing. Because it's only 6.5 minutes. I mean, he is free from me down here, so that's to be expected.
And keeping an eye on Polar. I'm surprised they haven't tried the collapse top yet. Pycat is not yet 6, and pre-6 would seem to be the time they would want to do that. As you mentioned, Koikva in great shape, has a duel available.
more than halfway to the blink. Still think Force Staff's a viable option. I like it. I actually prefer it. I don't play Legion a ton. I bought the Arcana when I was drunk one night, so I have to play it to somehow justify the purchase to myself. But when I do, I actually like playing Blink and playing Force Staff. I tend to like Force Staff.
Yeah, I mean, Blink is a little bit more explosive in long range, but
yeah,
to each their own. Bulba coming down here to place a ward. It'll probably get spotted though if he places it right here. Let's see if they ping it out. They didn't. I was gonna say, remember last game they pinged him there, but they were really good last game out just pinging out every single time they saw a ward come out. So must have missed that one just in the corner of their eye.
And Pycat and EGM getting some good damage onto some neutrals here. And there's going to be level 5 for the Ogre. Level 5 Fire Blast. EGM's quite low. He's going to be careful. And this is one of the things, speaking of being explosive, this combination of Lil and the Puck, if they decide to engage a target with Coil and with a Fire Blast, it really can just blow someone up. We're going to see Mag grab himself a Bounty Rune, and he is going to head top. And this is what we were talking about. One big RP could change the entire complexion of the game. Sing Sing's there. And no, he's going to be caught with the Fire Blast, but Lil left behind. Mag's just going to have to let him go. There's a Stampede, though, and he uses the charges. We're going to see Pycat trying to dive this. He's going to duck into the woods. Pycat is being ultra aggressive. Did hit level 6 amidst all of it, so he does have Shadow Dance. EGM going to end up eating the Fire Blast. Now Sing Sing right there, but Mag able to make it away. They can't find him. He's going to TP away. And it's going to end up being a 1-0, and all of a sudden, Sing Sing finds himself in no man's land. Who's that coming in? That's going to be, yep, he didn't, not level 6. If he'd had Chain Frost, could have canceled it, but Sing Sing able to TP away safely. That has got to be maddening. It looked like they were going to get 1, if not 2. Instead, they lose their IO and gain nothing.
Oh, what a disaster, man. What a disaster. Perfect timing of the Centaur ulti.
Yep.
Really nicely done there by TK Phobos. Oh, God, that one's going to burn. Ooh, that one is going to burn. Pycat taking a ton of damage. He's not level...
Pycat's just dead.
Alrighty then, Ace Ventura would say. That was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Mag's going to go in. Only got 1 with the coil, though. There's the RP. Here comes Illidan back in. He's going to waveform through. Gets 1 kill. Sing Sing in some trouble as well. Mag and Illidan both low there. They're going to get him. This game has just been blown wide open. A small series of mistakes at top turned into a 1-0 exchange when it looked like they were going to go 2-0 on the side of Tinker. And then they give up 4 in a row back. Or 3 in a row afterwards, rather. And this, I mean, the frustration has got to be real. Down at bottom, Quakefy and EGM are taking a tower. There's going to be a stomp on the EGM. Double Edge is there, and Stampede trying to follow him. Will be able to catch him, should be able to kill him. Mag's there to make sure it happens. In the meantime, Quakefy's still hanging around. No coil, so no way to interrupt. No, he stopped. Oh, no, the Chain Frost. Lich didn't have it at top, but he had it right there. This is an unmitigated cataclysm of the last 3 minutes for Team Tinker. They have given up so much.
They really have. Bulba comes down here to the bottom rune. If he gets a multicast on this, he could be dead. Couldn't find it. But doing a lot of damage. He doesn't have level 3 ignite. Body blocking pretty nicely. There's the Lich nuke. 1 more auto attack from Lich, and he does get it. Illidan, he's in some trouble, though. Shockwave is off the mark, and he needs to get the strength. Okay, he's fine.
Ultra aggressive. He actually waveformed in and went for that as well. But at the end of all this, 11 minutes in, look at this graph. It was quiet, 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 quiet. First blood, you can see right about where that happened. It's like, all right, we were basically even. Then suddenly, 4,000 gold, 5,000 XP. Pycat has got to get something working, man. He's still 29 CS right now. He has caught up some because he's largely been left alone, but his team is disintegrating around him. And now we're going to have Quakefy go get a duel on FNG. That should be an easy win, and it is. So there you go. Little plus 10 damage. Never hurt nobody.
Yep. And I actually think it was kind of unfortunate timing when Quakefy, when the Wisp got ganked down there, he actually just used press the attack on himself for extra attack speed to get the damage on the tower faster. But had he saved it and used it on EGM after he got stunned, I think they would have actually mitigated some deaths there. TP canceled there by, it looked like it was DK Phobos, I think.
Yeah.
But he's going to have a blink here and just 1 more creep kill, actually.
I think it's a fairly nice timing, given
really
he was
good.
Essentially 1-on-2.
Yeah, really good timing.
Mag also has his, as we saw, and he was just doing great up there. 3 of the top 4 farmers in terms of CS all belong to Polar. Same with the overall net worth, as one would expect. Centaur and Mag are about even with each other. And I feel like, you know, the game's certainly not over or even out of hand yet. It's just a very big lead that Polar built on a sequence of events spanning only about 2 or 3 minutes. But if they want to erase that in a hurry, as opposed to trying to grind it, which is a chancy proposition against the Morphling, then they're just going to need really good play from Sing Sing. And Sing Sing is such an impactful player anyway. I don't think that's that tall of an order.
Ooh.
They just have to make sure they're there to follow up on it.
That was so close. Mag just used an aggressive orb forward, and just a hair of it actually gave him vision of Koikfa, who was camping out to the left of this tier 1 tower up top for so long, and he blinked away right in time. Very, very close. Looks like they want to pose a defense up here. Lich is coming up top, has a chain. Mag has all of his spells up and ready to go. And here comes a relocate bomb.
Relocate. Yep, that's going to be Tinker. Landing with Pycat.
They can catch him on the return, though. At least get the
they're going to
whiz.
get at least one. CEGM. Oh, there we go. I was going to say, surely. They were just going to let him get away for free. So they go 1 for 1. And it's a support for a support, so only so valuable.
No dual damage, though, so it's kind of important. If he gets the dual damage, definitely a favorable trade for Team Tinker. It's pretty damn even, though, outside of that.
Taking a look at the Morphling. Is he going Lincoln's first? He's picked up an ulti orb. One would imagine.
Yeah.
This game against an IO and a Skywrath, I kind of wish he was going straight up shotgun.
It's really... Sorry to cut you off. It's really good for Legion. Like, it's absolutely... Because that's his only targetable spell, and it's probably one of the best in the game. So it's really important that he doesn't get dueled. So I think it's... Normally, I'm right there with you. I actually don't like Lincolns most of the time, but I think it's very necessary here. Speaking of duel...
Yep, Morphling's going to be able to waveform away. Oh! Just there, finally. Had to spend the RP. No permanently 1 damage that time either. They are going to trade their top tier 1 for that kill. And again, I think if Legion, just to echo your sentiment, if she had won that duel and had the permanently gained damage, that would have been worth it. As it stands, giving a tier 1 away even for a Morphling, don't know that that's worth it.
I think it's still worth it just to shut down her farm a little bit. Spreading out some time for Pycat, who bought him catch-up Midas, which I do think is fine. I think catch-up Midas is totally warranted this game. He's going to need that farm, and he can bounce back and be very effective with Koikfa creating some space and getting some nice duels. But yeah, you don't get the dual damage, which really sucks, but you don't even get that good of damage at level 1, honestly. Like, I guess it only goes up by 4 each time, but it's not too bad. I would still take that trade. They might do it again. Duel is up.
Yeah, Blink's going to be up on Mag soon. And he should have... Oh, no, they do manage to get the dual kill down at bottom. And that one was certainly worth it. They just catch the Morphling out by themselves. I didn't even see how it took place. I was watching mid as it looked like Phobos was wanting to engage onto someone, but... Wow, that's 2 deaths on Morphling in just about as many minutes. And even so, his farm is huge, but this is going to put a big dent in that.
They don't have good wards up actually right now on the map. The only vision they have is in mid. Action actually on the Sing Sing. Ooh, chain comes out, pretty effective.
And Bulba going to be pursued out in the meantime the rest of the fight. The courier just flies right in the middle of everyone. One more auto attack will get it. No. FNG needed a little bit more damage behind that. The fight continues on into the river. And this is just a mismanaged fight from VP. They had the advantage and then got spread way too far out. And now Mag
he's dead.
Yeah, he's going to get dueled. Wow. That is about as big a reversal of fate for TT as it was whenever they lost all that momentum early in that disastrous sequence of events about 5-10 minutes ago. And we can see that is heavily in their favor. That's a couple of big wins for Koikfa, both in a row as well. He's up to plus 30 damage already just from duels. And yeah, that was just weird. Polar just stretched that out basically from right here all the way to right here and right here. Like, there were just way too many heroes spread out that they couldn't work together.
Yeah, they need to just go one and dones here. Just get 1 kill, get back immediately. And get a little sloppy, honestly. And the Morphling's item progression, he would have had Lincoln's easily by now. Had he not died in succession, like one right after the other. They're pinging out something. They're actually standing on top of a ward. I'm scared that they don't buy a smoke and do it right there. They might suspect something's up. You go ahead and smoke here. Pycat should know that something's up. He TP's out. He's actually got a blink now if he wants it. In just about 30 gold.
Trying to use Illidan as bait, but they're not chomping. EGM's down here by himself. EGM's going for a very early Vlads. I love that pickup with his team. Slark and Legion makes so much sense. Up, relocate on the top. Mag dead again, and that's more damage for Koikva. And this Legion IO +1 combo is really working wonders. And it makes so much sense, you know? Get a mobility item on the Legion to begin, and then just like, okay, I'm dueling, come help. Now, speaking of come help, EGM in some trouble at bottom, so he ends up dying for free, but still. A puck for an IO, worth it.
Top tower has fallen.
Yeah, I don't know about that relocate. It seemed very, very weird to me. Kind of unnecessary, but pushing bottom, Morphling still top farmer in the game. Desperately needs this Lincoln. Has enough for it right now. But another one duel, 44 damage. Keep in mind too, he gets Empower from Magnus, which is super, super good in the late stage of the game. Especially if he gets a BKB, it does stay on him and he can cleave through that. Oh, it's really, really good.
A lucky find.
And Koikva and Bulba continue to hang together. And you know, the Skywrath and the Legion combination. Oh, wow. They're going to get Illidan again. Mystic Flare.
God.
That is just ridiculous. That is disgusting how quickly they can reduce that Morphling to nothing. Sing Sing came in, went for an RP, rethought it in the middle of it. Down at bottom. Now there's going to be the Stampede. He still has RP, and he's going to only get Phobos with it. It's going to be enough to buy him time for a reaction to come. Koikva, in fact, trying to catch up with Phobos, but Phobos a little too quick with the blink. 11-10, Polar maintains the kill lead, but there's no doubt about it. The momentum completely in favor of Team Tinker. They erased a 4,000 gold lead. They now have a very marginal lead of their own. The experience went from 5,000 to about 1,200 in their range as well.
Goes for a Maelstrom on Legion Commander. I would have liked to see a Blade Mail personally. I think the Blade Mail gives you nice, just base stats, and it works really well against heroes like VP.Polar that aren't going to buy BKBs anytime soon. And they also have good nuke burst damage. So I think Maelstrom's still fine. He's going to farm a lot faster with this though. And I guess if they want to take this in the late game, they have all the tools to do so. Like, I don't think Morphling's going to be that scary just because she doesn't have that much, or he doesn't have that much behind him. Like, Puck isn't going to offer that much in the late game. Centaur's okay. Lich is pretty bad. Ogre's bad because he's not going to have Nags anytime soon. So I think Team Tinker has this in the late game for sure. Like, they have melee heroes with Magnus, which is just fantastic.
Pycat has caught up fairly well. He went a blink for himself. That Midas, like you said, a very wise choice. And the Morphling just is not nearly as scary as he was. At one point, he was, what, 2,500, 3,000 gold ahead? Something like that. That's been now reduced down to less than 1,000 gold advantage for himself. So they need to win. They need it now. And more importantly, they need to stop feeding Koikva. And speaking of Koikva, trying to chase down Mag. There it is. Got him. And look at his damage output. He didn't even need the Mystic Flare. Like, he won that outright. And I don't know how they deal with that now. Like, honestly, I wish he had skipped Maelstrom and gone BKB. If he builds BKB, he completely runs over anyone on the side of Polar right now by himself. He's at plus 72 damage, man. It's like he's basically in the range of where a Shadow Fiend is with max Necromastery. In the meantime, Courier died somewhere.
Yeah, keep in mind he has some power to work with him too. I completely agree with the BKB. The only thing, like, it's 100% warranted. The only thing is because if they do suspect this game is going to go late, you don't want to fall in the boat of using too many BKB charges early on because you can't replace it, right? So it becomes very important to just save those charges. So I totally agree with you. BKB he's definitely going to need this game. It's just a matter of when he feels it's necessary. Yeah, like absolutely necessary.
How do you? I mean, I've been doing this a while as a caster, and God knows you've been doing this a while as a caster and a player. How do you feel about BKB refresh? I mean, I've casted so many versions. And it's gone back and forth, durations, you know, max min duration changing. You can refresh, you can't refresh. Do you like the way it is now? I actually feel like you should be able to rebuy BKB charges, but I feel like it should be at an exponentially increasing rate.
I like how it is now. The thing about the BKB charges is, like, I mean, I guess there's some strategy involved. You could always really throw players off. Like, people get into this mental mindset of, like, oh, it's only a 5-second BKB. And then you plan your spells accordingly. I think it should have been a little bit more obvious, personally, but I don't know. I like how it is right now. I think it's promotes not so passive play.
I think you should be able to rebuy, like if you buy the recipe, you get 1 charge back. So to go from like 5 to 10, you're talking like a huge investment of gold. But sometimes just getting that extra going, you know, spending like 5,000 gold and getting 2 seconds back, going from 5 to 7. I would think that.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Tier 1 tower in mid is taken out by VP.Polar. Overall graph, I haven't checked this out, but I imagine it's Team Tinker. Yeah, slightly actually, but
yep.
God, Quake was just putting on a clinic. He is going for BKB now, so I think this is fine. I think if he went straight BKB right after Blink, he would have probably burned through some charges he didn't really need to. This kind of forces him so he doesn't have to when he buys it a little bit later like this. But yeah, obviously it's going to be a fantastic item for him. And like I said, with the Empower still staying through BKB, it's really, really good. Also, Empower good for the Slark too.
Coming up on 23 minutes now, both teams I mean, right now, Mag bought a Midas of his own, and he's had his Blink for a bit, but we just haven't seen, like, he needs a Scepter. Like, they have to have some way to deal with Koikva. And without one, they just feel impotent. 3,200 gold is on the Morphling, though. Think he goes shotgun after this?
I don't know. I think...
I like it against an IO and a Skywrath a lot.
It's pretty good against Legion Commander too, because you can also help out your teammates in that respect. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's fine. Seems like the most standard thing to do. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes Manta either, but shotgun is pretty good too. Just saving people from the duel.
Here's an interesting thought. Phobos grabbing a Crimson Guard. We hadn't even really thought or talked about it. He had the Vanguard, and he's been kind of quiet. We haven't really zeroed in on his item builds, but he just now finished the Crimson Guard, and that's quite good against heroes like Slark and Legion. And Lil's going to be caught out. There's a Mystic Flare to follow, and coming in at the last second, Koikva, just for funsies. Actually didn't get the duel off, so a little bit of a waste of time. The IO will be headed back by himself, I can only imagine. Yep, EGM. Heading back to top, it's being pinged, and there he is. Illidan right there trying to follow it up, but there's the Replicant, and we'll finally be able to track him down. So they end up going support for support again, and it's a little bit of wasted time, but for the most part, I think they're quite happy with it. And now Pycat's going to be caught with a silence. That's actually really well done. Now, Sing Sing re-engaging, but look at the Chain Frost go. They're going to get Mag, and Koikva does get the win. Is there any help coming? Illidan's there, has a waveform now, but not going to be able to catch him. No, he does waveform through. Didn't think he'd be able to get him. Now Phobos is there. Stomp after the double edge, and that's actually a double kill for the Lich of all heroes. And there was an interesting decision from Sing Sing to try to go in there, knowing that Chain Frost is already let go. And it ends up going heavily in favor of Polar.
Yep, really a nice surgence of gold here for FNG. I think he's going to go for... Was that finally picked up, the Vlads? I thought he had that for a long time, because he was... Even opponents, except for like one of the 300 gold ones, either the ring or the recipe, like 10 minutes ago. He just picked it up. He's been feeding a lot, hasn't he?
Yeah, a little bit. He's got 6 deaths.
Okay, but
Sing Sing's actually at 0-2, speaking of.
Yeah, honestly, though, he can miss RPs and come in badly, but I think Empower is going to play such a huge role in this game. Like, Empower is so good with melee heroes that really fight well. But anyway, the Crimson Guard, not a fan of it at all. I think it's a waste of money for him. Doesn't really? Yeah, it doesn't actually give you like any strength, really. It gives you HP, and this is a hero that really does well with strength in particular. I think the gold could have been better, benefited from, like, oh, hold that thought, Pycat. He just used Dark Pack, too. Could die here. Yep.
Dead.
Can't
good
use Dark
chaining
Pack
of the stuns.
literally like that.
Yep. I see. You don't think it's worth it, though, for the damage mitigation against all of the attacks for 9 seconds? Like, if you use it and you go in, like, Koikva, I mean, not, you know, mitigating that much damage, I think, wow. Yep, shotgun done. That's exactly why I was saying I like it against the Skywrath. Bulba wiped off the map. Now we're going to have a coil. That catches EGM. He will be tether stunned. Sing Sing has an RP if he has to spend it. Doesn't look like he wants to. EGM being kept alive for a little while, however. The shotgun reloaded. And now, oh, nice blink from Sing Sing. Phobos, oh god, that was so quick. Sing has always been just one of the quickest players. Showed it right there. But 18-13, and suddenly this Polar team that felt like they had run out of momentum is ready to rock. Koikva used the BKB charge there, by the way. Now he's going to be engaged upon. Illidan trying to chase him down. He has a replicate out. He's being baited. Sing Sing could blink and RP him, perhaps. And nope, they're just going to end up losing that. And Sing Sing takes some damage. But with the Skywrath back up, I'm sure they're going to go ahead and get out. He's going to have his Lincolns popped. Doesn't have enough money for Replicate. He needs to be careful here. Yeah, he's going to be tracked down by Pycat. And there's the puck. He needs to be, if they end up getting Illidan at the back of this, it's so going to be worth it. There's going to be an RP spin on him and the Mystic Flare. So not using his Replicant when he could have, costing him dearly. Now Mag wants to try to turn this around with the rest of the team, knowing the RP is down. Is Stampede available? It is, if they want to try to pursue it that badly. Bulba's going to be the target. Mag's right on top of him, gets the Waning Rift off, chasing him all the way up towards the Secret Shop. Behind that, we can see Sing Sing trying to do what he can. On the other side, they do manage to get the Skywrath Mage. Now they're going to turn it around. EGM catches a Fire Blast in the face, 2-time multicast on the Ignite. Sing Sing able to blink to safety, has a skewer as well up to the top. EGM did manage to make it away, at least temporarily. There's going to be the jaunt by Mag. Here comes Slark. Re-engaging, though. There's going to be, yeah, he's going to Yules himself, trying to buy time and able to phase shift at least momentarily. Oh, man.
Oh, and the Stampede finally comes out. I was wondering when he was going to cast that. But this time it's a defensive one. Oh, barely gets out with... Or?
Nope.
He didn't go to the Or?
Nope.
He calls ... report. I was like, what?
Yep. Just a small mistake. They end up giving away a bit back there. Let's take a look at what the gold... Yeah, that's still heavily in favor of Virtus Pro when all is said and done. But the fact they tracked the Morphling down, I feel like is a pretty damn big deal. And it was because he was being kind of cutesy with his waveforms and his... Like that last shotgun chain he tried to use on Sing Sing basically for just damage, had no chance to actually kill him. And then after that and another waveform, he didn't have enough for Replicate, so he was stuck.
I don't know why he was getting aggressive there anyway. I think he just hit the tower and then they backed off. Like he was trying to be really aggressive and put an Blade onto Legion Commander. I don't think it kills him anyway though. Like Legion Commander can just use his press the attack on himself. He's very tanky. It's kind of a silly play. They did manage to get the Legion Commander in the backfield though during all of that. So
yep,
they did expend like everything on him. Chain Frost even solo, and everything in the kitchen sink. This is going to be a Roshan here for Team Tinker, and it is not spotted out for VP.Polar. So Aegis here probably for Pycat, and it's really good for him.
And it will end up dropping without being contested. And Pycat has really bounced back admirably. He was struggling so much early. But he has looked quite good. Now, Mag's got eyes on him, has a coil. He's going to Yules him. And helps on the way from both sides. If he's going to kill him, he needs to do it now. He has Shadow Dance available, though, and he knows he has a Aegis as well. Here's going to be a relocate in. That was just the EGM. No, there's Pycat. Now coming in from the back, but still EGM came in by himself, I do believe. Yeah, and he just dies. And they're going to get FNG back in the meantime. We see Phobos ends up dead at the hands of the Skywrath Mage. They're trying to chase down FNG. Mag's right there and gets the Waning Rift off. Pycat getting some help from Sing Sing, who drops the hammer and makes it a clean sweep. They lost EGM, who came in kind of oddly. And I'm pretty sure he came in by himself, unless there was just something I missed there. But nonetheless, nice RP, and it's a 1 for 3. As another exchange, this time going in form in the direction of Tinker.
Yeah, crazy game, man. Just some weird abilities being played or used at awkward times, but it's a lot of fun to watch. They're gonna push this tower. Koikfa TP's back to defend his tier 3. A lot of damage, actually. My God, I didn't even notice that. But that's over half damage on the tier 3 done by Illidan. So nicely done by him. Pycat's coming to scout things out. Illidan should be fine though, unless he gets dueled. But he's just gonna blink you out. So
makes it to safety. Let's take a look at Koikva, where he's going. I think he finishes a Mjolnir here, or does he go with something different?
For Koikva?
Yep.
Probably. Yeah, that would make sense. I think, obviously, this hero is one of the best in scaling with attack speed because you get your damage for free. So the best way to really up your damage is just raw attack speed. So AC, Mjolnir.
What about Basher?
Basher's okay. I mean, Abyssal's good on anyone, right? It's like a sheep thing.
Right.
It's always good. It's just super expensive.
Well, Koikva, not going to spend his gold yet. Not going to clue us in as of now, although he does have it. Nope, it's going to be Mjolnir. He's got the recipe on the courier, and it's going to buy the Hyperstone now. In the meantime, Pycat YOLOing on in. There's going to be Sing Sing coming in behind this as well with the relocate. EGM and Koikva landing in. Koikva looking for a target. We'll find it with Lil.
That's going to be a 1 duel and the RP to follow. Illidan's in the middle of this. Morphing Strength has his Lincolns popped. Sing Sing taking a lot of damage, doesn't make it away. And Polar ends up going 1 for 1. And all told, Koikva won the duel, which is nice. Oh, they're going to get Pycax Aegis. They might get him twice. Are they going to hang around? Looks like they're a little scared of it. No, they're just going to let him back up. Fearing Koikva, who was hovering around the periphery there, as was Bulba. So I think that's about even. I mean, Sing Sing dies in exchange for just an Ogre, but they did manage to get the Aegis. Now Illidan's going to come back in. They're going to get EGM for free. Pycat jumps and pounces on Phobos. And here comes Illidan. Illidan's going to be careful here. I don't think he needs to overplay this. And he will just take the replicate and back off from there. I actually feel like Team Tinker gave away what advantage they had gained there.
Yeah, it was kind of sloppy. The replicate doesn't actually get the extra damage from the duel. That kind of sucks. I was like, oh wait, that's a really good way to counter out the Legion. Just take a replicate of himself and get all that extra damage, but nope, doesn't get it. It's added on after. So, God, I don't know if you saw the beginning of that fight, but Koikva does so much freaking damage, man.
Oh, dude.
Like he just bought his Mjolnir, which was great, and then hooked up with the Wisp. It was actually scary. It was actually almost on the verge of him just wiping out everyone like in a matter of seconds. So much damage. He wasn't even empowered in that fight. Sing Sing just didn't cast it on him. Imagine if he has empower in that fight too. You slap a crit onto him as well late game. Oh my god, this is gonna be so crazy.
Oh, big stack taken by Polar for now, and there's a Heart done on the Centaur. So Heart plus Crimson Guard. I still feel like the Crimson Guard might end up being a somewhat worthwhile investment. I mean, when you talk about the damage mitigation against the hero who is functioning on bonus damage, it's just a way to kind of take that out of the equation so long as you use it soon enough. Pycat stands his Aegis now. Does have a Scotty, and I'm really impressed with the way he's farmed. He's back in the top 3 of the top 4 in net worth, all belonging to Team Tinker, but the Morphling remains on top, and he's going for a Butterfly. He's picked up his second Eagle Song now. And sans MKB on the Slark and Slark actually did get a Basher as well. But it looks like Koikva's going for an MKB now. Needs about another 3,000 gold for it.
Yep, God, that'll be really good for him. Yeah, I don't know. As far as the Crimson Guard thing on DK Phobos, like I said, it doesn't give you any strength, really. It gives you 2 attributes. So it gives you 2 strength. So it doesn't really work that well with Return or your Stampede. And it's just a very expensive item. Like, I like to see just typical, like, either BKB or a 4-staff. Like, it's really expensive. How much is it in total? I want to check this out. Crimson Guard in total is almost 4,000 gold. It's actually insane. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the buff is nice, but personally, it doesn't do enough for me to warrant getting it over something like a 4-staff or a BKB. It's literally the price of just about a BKB.
Now, both teams dodging each other effectively right now. Tinker was looking for a bit of a fight. Thought they were going to have a chance to catch the Morphling at top, but ended up not being the case. But Polar wants to change that up. They've smoked up. Koikva is split pushing top, basically by himself, though he does have teammates behind him, trying to bait him. And their tier 3 is going to take a little bit of damage here. Illidan's out by himself. Is he going to wonder top? No. Looks like they're really trying to catch them pulling through the jungle. And they're in a great position with EGM and Bulba over in the woods. Off to the side of top lane. And they're going to have to do something about this. They just lost about a third of their tier 3's HP to nothing but creep damage. Illidan shows himself. Up. This is going to be bad.
Oh, the Legion just TP'd out. They need the whiffs to go with them to go grab him.
Oh, this could be so... No. Oh, they're all leaving. Oh, that's brutal. That's so brutal. They waited for so long and opted not to go, assuming correctly that they had an entire team behind it, but they waited for so long for that opportunity, then it finally came and they were down a man. Yeah. Brutal.
The funny thing is they were thinking that VP was doing something cheeky and like had some kind of smoke ink, but they actually weren't doing anything cheeky at all.
Yeah,
they're just running around.
Farming the jungle.
Yeah.
They did smoke eventually, but then they just kind of did this number though. All right, let's go get the tower. But game rolls on. We're 36.5 minutes in now, and I like where Morphling's going with his farm. He is desperately close to his Butterfly. Koikva is desperately close to his MKB. So, going to be a break even there. In the meantime, we can see he does have a replicate up. They could take this fight. The Morphling's not there, and they're going to realize that momentarily. Pycat jumps on the Lil. We're going to have Quakefa come in and oh, wow, just blown off the map. And there's going to be a stampede that helps to get them to safety. Oh, there's going to be a nice 3-man coil. Let's see if they can follow this up. Illidan into the fight now. And going to work right on Pycat. He's going to blow him up with a shotgun. There's a double edge to finish him off behind that. Quakefa able to blink to safety. Bulba's leading the charge to try to get away. It's another one of those weird fights where it looks like the initiation advantage is hugely in favor of Tinker, but when you look up as the teams are running away, it's a support traded for a core.
Yeah, I think that VP could have been a little bit cleaner about that too. Unfortunately, the puck got juked. Couldn't really... I don't think he cast his Scythe, actually, because it was still off cooldown when he was looking for the retreating heroes. And it's funny, their priority was totally Pycat. Normally, you always want to kill the Wisp first because he just heals up so many people. They completely disregarded him and just went for Pycat instead. So luckily, EGM, well, for their sake, luckily EGM didn't get the relocate out. There's the MKB for Quakefa. Gotta be careful, though, because he doesn't have buyback for the time being. With Empower, though, look at that. He's hitting for about, what, 460 damage, 470 damage?
Mm-hmm.
Power goes away.
So far, well, the thing is, whenever they're engaging into a lot of these fights, I feel like their target selection has to change. Like, they got the Lich before he Chain Frosted, and that's, you know, good. I mean, it's not saying it's terrible. But then the Morphling comes in, the puck gets off a coil. Like, I feel like the big heroes that need to be focused down with his mass damage output are largely the Morphling, the Centaur, and the puck. And we're going to see Quakefa forced to use his BKB, so that's, I actually think that's well worth it. Phobos actually found a kill elsewhere. Here comes, oh, the reaction, but Pyket's jumping right into a whole team. Caught with a multicast. There's a beautiful RP, though. Sing got 3, but where's the damage? Now the Chain Frost is coming out. Pycat making a run for it. Good relocate back to save him. EGM with a nice last-minute tether as a relocate drug him back. They're going to get Sing from behind, though. And again, that's what I was saying. The duel went off. But Quakefa just like the heroes they get. They got the puck and the ogre that time. Now they're going to end up losing Bulba. Pykat's going to re-engage though. Illidan making a run for it, and Quakefa coming back into this fight now. We're going to see Phobos just decide to TP away. Oh no, he got bash. He got the mini crit, the mini bash. Oh, that's so brutal, and it ends up turning completely around as a Quakefa tallies a triple kill. And all of that began and ended with EGM with the fantastic save of Pycat. If Pycat had dropped, and he certainly would have, if it wasn't for EGM grabbing him last minute with that tether to get him to safety, they would not have been able to turn it around. Instead, it's a full 5-man wipe, and Tinker draws this game back to even.
A lot of things would have changed. One, the Illidan tried to TP out there, got bashed by Pycat in the middle of his TP, died as a result. And he put a shotgun. Oh my god, and Quakefa does so much damage. It's insane. Yep. And he used his shotgun in the Wisp, but he couldn't kill him, and he couldn't follow up. And afterwards, Wisp just heals up everybody and does his things. You have to focus down this Wisp. It's so important. It seems like a waste of time because it is just a Wisp, but it's like this hero just does so much for the Team Tinker. And now he brings Quakefa back actually to Roshan. Oh my god, look at this damage. It's insane.
This might be your ball game, as it looked like Tinker had given up a fight in mid that was going to end up costing them perhaps a tier 3, if not Rax. But again, it's the little things. Without the power of Pycat to get into the middle of that fight, I don't think that they re-engage. As hard as Slark or as Quakefa's Legion is hitting, they just needed a bit more than that. And then he got him out with could not been any more than 100, 150 HP. And just really nice support play and allowing them to completely turn that around. It was a nice RP by Sing, but the damage was just so lacking.
Yeah, Quakefa didn't want to jump in there because he had used his BKB at the very beginning of the fight, if you remember.
Right, yep.
After he got Yuled. But so that he had to kind of play chicken for most of the fight. But as soon as he saw his openings, he jumped in there and killed with just like a couple of auto attacks.
Oh, speaking of openings, oh, Illidan should end up dead here. Pykat's going to use the Shadow Dance. No, they're going to try to turn this around. Quakefa's right there with him and did catch him with the duel. Morphing strength doesn't matter. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Mag comes back in to try to make him pay for dinner, though, as Pycat ends up losing his Aegis. Quakefa will be able to TP away. Sing not going to be so fortunate. And Pycat, oh, he missed the bounce to the high ground. They may be able to catch him. Phobos trying to buy time, doesn't have Stomp yet.
Pycat, oh, and there's the multicast. Double edge, stomp to follow, no! Goes high ground, but they follow him up. Can they get him? There it is. Phobos plants his foot and sends him back to the fountain the hard way. 30-27. Even though they get the Morphling, they give 3 up. Morphling in exchange for the Magnus, the Slark, and the Io. And just like that, just look at this, like an EKG, man. The gold graph, the experience graph. Big win for VP. However, doesn't mean that they're out of the woods, as Koikfa is ginormous. And he's got a DD too.
Yep, just picked up Assault Caress as well. I actually wonder if Koikfa just could have stayed there and helped out. Mag was still there. I mean, Mag was probably going to die regardless, but Slark was still there with an Aegis. And Koikfa does unbelievable amounts of damage. Got kind of scared of the situation, just used his BKB, didn't want to stay anymore, but I really feel like he could have stayed there and just cleaned house, but wanted to take the safe route, I guess.
Well, for now, this game rolls on, and this is beginning to feel like one of those games where it's going to be all about 1 or 2 heroes being out of position. If you're out of position, you get blown apart by the Morphling, who I think is going Scotty, by the way. There's a Chain Frost that was thrown for reasons beyond me. Got there in time, because I think he just used Chain Frost to farm.
Yep, and then just ran away, which is fine.
Yeah.
It's a low cooldown at level 6 or level 3, so.
Assault Cuirass is on the way for DK Phobos as well. He's actually getting into 6-slotted territory, man. Like, getting very close to it.
God, yeah, he's huge.
And the thing is, even by the net worth chart, he doesn't seem that huge. But I guess it's just because Mag is equally huge. He's pretty much, I mean, other than selling his Midas, he's near 6-slotted as well. What do you think goes next? Dagon, maybe? Just for a little extra burst?
Oh, for Puck?
Yeah.
I get right-click.
I think right-click on the Puck?
Oh, yeah. Like, you're going to have an Assault Caress. You can get yourself an MKB if you want. Refresher's really good with their sheep. Yeah, I don't know. He's got options, but he needs to transition a little bit more into a carry.
Yep. Do you like the Scepter pickup? Don't see it all that often on Pucks.
It's so good, man. I really, really like it.
I want to say this is only, like, has to be the 2nd or 3rd time ever I've ever seen it actually in a professional game that I've casted. It might even be just 2nd. Like, I can remember it happening a long time ago. Very vaguely. I want to say it was actually Dindy's Puck. Then this is way back in the day. But for now, Pycat could be in some trouble. And, oh, he pounces and shadow dances. They're going to be able to follow him, muted out. And there's the follow. Hex. That's a big feed. He's down for 90 seconds, and he doesn't have buyback. Unfortunately for them, I don't think they can push fast enough to get much of anything out of it.
I'm wondering for Koikfa, because he does so much damage, he can kill anyone he wants to if he isolates them. Just a matter of, as far as killing the Morphling and making sure that his Linken's is off. If his Linken's is off, he will go, and he won't even think twice about it. But that's just the beautiful thing about Linken's against Legion, because 1, he can only target you with the ult, and 2, he never really gets any kind of other targetable items. Like, this build that he has is pretty standard. You don't go for anything else. Like, there's no other targetable spell that you would want to get in your inventory that would really synergize quite nicely with you, but yeah, so it's really nice. As long as the Morphling can have this Linken's up and ready to go, can't really go on to him. And I'm very worried that after Koikfa goes, if he doesn't kill the Morphling, that he just dies after the BKB goes away.
They're going to realize, right? Oh, Io barely saved there. Tossed in the air by Yules. He will be able to tether up. He's still barely alive. 1 auto attack, not enough. And they take the tier 3 in a heartbeat. And they have to know now, Slark's not coming back. Like, they're backing off just out of cautiousness. They got the tier 3. Is that all they're going to want? I would have thought they would have for sure sold out at least 1 hero. At least leave DK Phobos behind with Stampede and let him try to bring down the racks. Instead, Slark's back up, but gotta respect Sing's mag. 1 big RP, and he does have a refresher now, BT Dubs. So 1 big RP, game-changing in every sense of the word. They're going to come right back out and go headhunting in their own jungle. And a couple, 3 targets currently still hanging around in the vicinity if they manage to catch one.
Yeah, they have a little bit of vision here. I think they should just totally bail and just split, honestly. Illidan has plenty of farm to go. Pycat, not so much.
No, they want to fight. Oh, Io once again saved by the Yules. Oh, there's the RP. Was canceled. Pycat's right on top.
of F&G. They're going to catch Mag with the very first one. There's going to be a skewer back. They got Illidan with it as well. But you see Quickfoot going, no! DK Phobos gets the win. The upset win at that. 3 for 1. The big bad Brad Warden bringing down Quickfoot, who is just hitting so hard. 190 bonus damage, and he still lost that fight. And that might just be enough, man. There's no buyback on Pycat once again. No buyback on Sing Sing. Huge turnaround in terms of XP, especially. About a 5,000 gold swing. And break it down, man. Tell me what happened.
Sing Sing hit like nothing with his double RP.
Yep.
His first one completely whipped. I think he 4-staffed in and then hit nothing, and he was still BKB'd. Refreshed it and hit Mag, and Mag didn't even die. And I mean, that's pretty much it, man. Like, I didn't see the what Koifa was going for because I was watching the Mag's initiation, but maybe you can help me with that. Did you see what Legion?
I got there at the end. He was dueling DK Phobos.
Oh, that is not the hero to do.
No, he was dueling DK Phobos, and it was super close. But it ended up being a DK Phobos win. Like you're talking probably each had 5%, maybe 10, somewhere between 5 and 10% HP, and then it was Phobos that won.
That's like, oh no, he's so big, man, and his return does so much damage as well.
Ooh.
That shotgun is starting to rack up the damage as it takes out half HP of Koifa even. But I don't know, man. These RPs were just pretty awful. They were pretty bad.
I agree. That time, that fight, it was severely lacking. He's had some good ones. And he actually canceled it too. Like his initial RP, he started to hit it and canceled it, and then tried to line up again, and just couldn't find anyone. And do you lay that at Sing's feet, or do you say that that's just Polar keeping a nice spread?
I think he's trying to force it way too quickly. Like he just needs to take a step back and wait. Like the fight's not going to end anytime like super soon. They have ways to drag out the fight. He just has to find. Oh, EGM caught up. Close the F up. And the Scepter now picked up now for the Ogre Magi. So he's going to have multicast coming out all the time with the Unrefined Fire Blast. But hanging around Roshan. It's not going to be up for quite some time though. But he just needed to be a little more patient.
Here we go. Looks like they're ready to try to close this out. Quickfoot did expend his buyback just now. So he's got 5 minutes to go. And hell, even if he hadn't, he's still 1,000 gold away from it as he's in desperation mode. Buyback on just about everyone for Polar, on the other hand. Morphling still sitting on traps. Was curious if he was going to take time to grab some bots. Has not done so. And he may just make a replicate, a fresh one. Depends on how slow they want to take it. I was going to say you could make a replicate, plant it in the back of the woods or something. Hell no. They're just going to send Centaur on up. What a tank he has been. I mean, just truly bulldozing over everything for much of this match. Pycat's going to engage, going to try to go one-on-one. Sing Sing gets a solo RP, but this time it's on Illidan. Has his Lincoln's popped. There's the second one. That's what they've been looking for. Koifa tries to come in the back. He got hexed, but it doesn't matter. There are 3 down, and they can't afford to fight. As FNG up, caught by the spirits. They know where he is. Koifa's going to go get himself another free win. Up to 208 bonus damage now. And down he goes. And that was not great out of Polar. Not great at all.
Nope, they just didn't. They were like, yeah, he's not going to hit an RP. We're fine. We can clump up. But, yeah, they needed to be a lot more careful about that. I think they're okay. They still have buyback on all their heroes except for FNG. I don't imagine that TT's going to pose any kind of push here. The best they can get is Roshan, which is going to be respawning here very, very soon for them, which is good. But Lil, he's just going to die here, I think. Yeah, goodbye.
All right, then. Just wanted to make sure Koifa had enough, and that's technically a full 5-man wipe. So, as you do. Koifa is making a run at the base. I think he wants to try to force at least some buyback. And they're going to have to, I think. They have a glyph, but he's going to melt this. Creeps are far enough away.
They need to buy back. Look at that. That was through backdoor protection right there.
Yep.
It's now regenning because of the glyph, but no more backdoor protection now.
They're going to, wow, just give up racks.
Huh, okay. That is not good. In a turn of events, Oh, boy. Well, they got to fight now.
Yeah, down at bottom. Look at this. Pycat takes a tier 3. Illidan comes back out, catches him with the shotgun, but no follow-up as it was just him, and he certainly didn't want to waveform out of the base, not knowing the position of everyone. BKB now done on Pycat. That's going to serve him very well, as he has been eating so much damage just from the E-Blade of Illidan. I mean, this was just a bizarre play up here, man. Like, it cost them so much. It cost them 2 tier 3s and one lane's worth of racks just because they just wandered their... the Centaur going up, I understand. He's big and tanky. Then Illidan went up, and it was just like, oh, they're both RP'd twice, and now that fight's over.
Yep, double RP's up in 42 seconds. There's a replica here. Pycat's in trouble.
Yep, here comes EGM trying to get him out. RP is there as well. They got Phobos. Illidan's still going to town, though. They're seeing going to be skewering Phobos out of the fight. That leaves Illidan alone. He's going to be dueled and brought down. Big win for Quakeba and big play for Sing to get the Centaur out of that fight. Phobos comes back down, now going to work on Bulba. Bulba saved by the Yule Scepter, but Quakeba's there to help clean up with Pycat. And I think this one might have just swung completely. And it looked like it was 100% VP.Polar's game to win or to lose. And I wonder if they didn't choose the latter.
And Cheese and Aegis on the ground. Unfortunately, Quakeba can't take either, unless he drops like boots or something. So Pycat's going to take Aegis. Cheese goes on to EGM, which is fantastic. And they're just not respecting the damage of Quakeba, man. He's almost got a free rapier onto him.
Yep.
And they're definitely going to have to buy back.
Sing Sing didn't get the Morphling with his the skewer to get the Centaur out of the pit and to free things up for Quakeba to come in was a big deal. And yeah, this is going to be 2 sets of racks down at a minimum. I don't know, Mag's there using the Yules to try to buy time, and they're just going to wait and reset. And atop, we can see FNG being obnoxious. Getting a big wave pushing on in. Bulba has to go home. And Sing Sing's there with it.
Illusion. Yeah, I'm really scared for VP.Polar. Their team fight is not as good as Team Tinker's. And as long as these RPs aren't whiffed, I think that Team Tinker's fine just because of how much insane damage that Legion Commander can do with the Empower onto him. He doesn't even need to dual heroes to kill them at that rate anymore. He can just auto-attack them with the press the attack.
Looks like Polar wants to take the fight to them. Understandably so. They need a big pick. And they're going to go right on the... Wow. He had to replicate out immediately. He only had a second or 2 left on it as well. He went for the shotgun blow-up on EGM and did not get it. He'll have replicate back up in 15 seconds. And if they're going to try to fight this, I definitely think he needs to replicate. Then they need to try to fight. That way he can buy back. Oh, fuck. He can anyway. He had to buy back previously, so never mind.
Refresher onto Mag, which is pretty good considering he can coil through BKB. Very good against Mag, very good against Quakeba. And actually good against the Slark too. So this one's going to come down to initiation, but Team Tinker do have the crutch of having an Aegis and the Cheese on their side.
Quakeba also has buyback. That in and of itself is a pretty damn big deal. Wow, Morphling actually does manage to secure a kill. That's a gem. And they managed to get the Sky Wrath. And they're going to come back out. Oh, look at this. Pycat's engaging. He's going to be hexed out. Do they have the damage? Mag there with the silence. Here comes EGM to try to save him the rest of the fight. Going to be breaking out behind it. There's a beautiful RP that once again got Phobos. And Quakeba going to town on him. They're going to be able to clean him up. That's going to be 2 down for 1. And now Pycat joined by Quakeba on Illidan. Illidan has to waveform out. Pycat's BKB should be expiring soon, but Quakeba's actually quite low. Illidan still morphing strings. Pycat just going to work on him. He's going to turn and try to use the E-Blade. There's Lil to follow it up with a Fire Blast. Chain Frost was expended as well. They're going to end up getting Lil for sure. And poor FNG caught on the high ground. He's Yulesed up. And going to come back down to a hot LZ. As Pycat makes it a double kill. They got Illidan back to safety. But the RP once again on point. And Phobos has been taken out of these fights quite extensively. They are focusing him down and making him a priority, and it's making a difference.
There's no buyback on anyone on the side of VP.Polar. Boots of Traveler coming up. There's a refresher, actually, onto Quakeba. He just gives the treads onto the courier. Actually, no, he just sells the treads, so no boots for him. He's going to have double duel, double BKB, double press the attack, and they're going here. They want to end it now.
Here we go. This melee rack's not going to last long. Pycat hitting hard in his own right. Not quite on the level of the free rapier that Koikva has essentially earned during this game. But, yeah, I think this is just it. That's just Megas. They're going to come out and try to do something, but BKB's there. Pycat hooks up with him. No buyback on the Centaurs, you said. And they're going to play this safe. Not even sure. Like, they could just rush the tier 4s and probably bring them down easily. Illidan's up on the high ground. Pycat's got eyes on him. And, oh, miss with the pounce. Eats the E-blade, but Koikva still very dangerous. Now he's going to come out and start chopping wood on Lil. Here's the double coil, the refresh on the both, just buying time. Centaur will be back up now. And there's a multicast onto a creep, scared the hell out of it. Now EGM's going to end up dead. RP was used, but Koikva now being focused down, and Polar manages to bring him down. He's got buyback if he absolutely needs it. Pycat manages to slither out the bottom way out. And I guess they just run at the base now. I mean, they're Megas. There's nothing else they can really do. Slark still has his Aegis, but so, I mean, barring a miracle, I don't think it's going to make a difference. They're just going to leave Lil behind the drag creeps to the fountain.
Yeah, I think they're going to need the whole team, though. Like, Pycat having buyback. Aegis is reclaimed. Nope. I imagine he'll have buyback. Yeah, he has 7,500 gold, so. Going to pick up a butterfly. Probably still have buyback after that. And, yep, here we go. This is all in. Illidan does have boots of travel, and this is their last hurrah.
Gonna make a run. Boots of Traveler up on who for Tinker? No boots on Koikva.
They gotta kill Koikva. That's 100%. If they kill Koikva, I think they have a chance.
Yeah. Koikva's gonna have to buy back. And he does. Last tier 4 gonna be dropping here. The creeps are rushing their base behind that. They do manage to catch out Sing Sing. Koikva's coming into the fight now. Blinks in, manages to get the duel onto Mag. He's gonna be able to bring him down. And no problem, but Sing Sing's gonna end up dropping. Now there's gonna be the refresh. He manages to catch Illidan. Illidan's down. Koikva is a little bit low. They have to decide. Nope, Pycat coming in from the back of the fight. That's going to clean one up. Phobos caught with the Abyssal on his way back home. Gets off the stomp, doing what damage he can, but don't think it's going to be anywhere near enough. There's the skewer. Down he goes. Koikva, in the meantime, secures a triple kill of his own. And the creeps going to be able to finish the job almost certainly. As we see, the puck did buy back and bots in, but that doesn't matter. They should be able to walk down this middle lane and finish things off. Hell, they don't even have to. They're going to, relocate. And going right to work on the tier 4s. GG called. Just south of an hour. A phenomenal game 2. And leads to a very, very good result if you're a Team Tinker fan, as we're going to game 3.
Yeah, and they went for the decision to just try to throne it. And I think they had a better shot actually just killing Legion Commander there. Then they know it's a 4-on-5 fight, and he's the one primarily doing all of the damage. They can kind of kite out the rest. Io and Skywrath don't do anything. I mean, Io is important, but Legion Commander, I think that was their opening. They went for the all-in throne, and it just didn't pay off. But very nice comeback from Team Tinker on the back of a very farmed Koikva, who had essentially a free rapier at the end.
Yep. Holy fantasy points, by the way. On both sides. 8 heroes in double-digit fantasy points. And, yeah, one of the more entertaining games beginning to end I've casted in quite some time. 19-5 and 18 for Koikva, who finishes the game in great shape. 4-7 for Sing Sing, who was struggling a bit early, but managed to find, for the most part, the RPs they needed down the stretch. Pycat bounced back so well. Finishes up 14-7 and 14 for himself after very much suffering in the lane phase. And Polar, despite taking it late, just unable to close the door. That one fight in that bottom lane where the hubris, just getting the Centaur and the Morphling grouped up by themselves on the high ground. And 2 excellent RPs from Sing Sing, enough to stop them there. From that point on, it did just feel like Team Tinker was a stone rolling downhill. They just had too much forward momentum to hope to be stopped.
I'm your host, Aaron AC Chambers. Thanks for being a part of the broadcast, guys. We're going to Game 3. No surprise, as Tinker looking for their first win in D2L play in just their second appearance. While for VP.Polar, they just want to get over the hump. They want to be sitting at 3-2 with only 2 series left following this one. This is the front end of a long day of Dota, as we're going to have 3 more Eastern best of 3s starting at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So make sure after our third game, you don't venture too far, as we have 5 p.m., 8 p.m., and 11 p.m. So Tralf and I are going to be here till the wee hours, or I guess the early morning lunchtime hour if you happen to be in Europe. So look forward to seeing you back for that. Make sure you hit follow here on twitch.tv/D2L. Want you to catch all of the action every time we come live. And of course, follow the D2